This is a cool story that started as a simple post on Reddit. It was a plea to the public on behalf of a Minneapolis folk musician who was looking for a long-lost friend. Sam Fisher has Ellen's story.
Dr. Ellen Stekert is many things. A New York native, a retired professor, Minnesota's first and only governor-appointed state folklorist.
Well, I'm also an expert in wolves.
But to those who really know her, she's a collector of story and of song, still on the search for her collection's most significant piece.
Nobody would recognize me without a guitar.
Ellen was diagnosed with polio at 13. She went on to learn to play the guitar as both emotional and physical therapy.
Of course, I got the guitar when I was a sophomore.
Her closest confidant and companion.
My guitar was born, I think, in 1955 or 6 in New York.
It wasn't just any old guitar.
It was a Martin 0021. It was the perfect size.
A gift from her parents.
I just played it and played it and played it. I didn't realize how important that guitar was to me until it was not with me anymore.
Coming up in 1950s and 60s New York City, Ellen's early passion for storytelling helped cement part of her legacy as a pillar of the Greenwich Village folk revival of the mid-20th century. Let's start.
Bob Dylan.
No.
No, okay.
But it wasn't the people in the village singing those songs who ignited her passion. It was the people living on the other side of them, in villages half a world away.
Because Willie, the guy in the mountains, seemed like the real dear, quiet, loving, cooperative person. Fuzzy, or Ezra Borheit from the north, was a cantankerous son of a gun.
Across the mountains of Kentucky, to the shores of Rhode Island, through the deep woods of Michigan, atop the grandest stage of them all.
Well, this is the state fair, a very quick program for the Girl Scouts.
It was Ellen and her guitar, singing lumberjack songs.
Testing. One, two.
And finger-picking with fellow folk legends and friends.
Morning of May the 21st, 1966. This is a friend of mine named Dave Van Ronk. How do you like the guitar?
It's a beautiful axe.
But appearances, they say, can often be deceiving.
It was a bad time in my life, it really was.
Struggling financially and in the throes of a gambling addiction.
It is a very poignant part of the story, in the sense that, I was just my shame about being addicted.
Ellen reached out for help from someone she considered a close friend. They decided, cash for collateral. And it wasn't more than a few weeks that had passed.
I called him and I said, I've got the money. I can pay you back, and I can have my guitar back. And he said, no, I don't have it.
Sold.
I explained to him, I wrote to him, I said, it's like you've taken my arm away. And
she knew then that her collector had taken more from her than she could ever owe.
The problem is when you collect from somebody, you've taken more away from them than you think.
Like an old folktale, evolving narratives over time.
It's a question of putting it in the proper framework. It's like Dada art, where everything is out there, but when you take the picture, you frame it in the way that reveals something.
She hopes a lifelong career of collection can lead to just one priceless moment of connection.
So I think it's fascinating to find out why things occur, or find connections that you never realized. It just enlightens everything. It's like feelers go out to the rest of the world.
Feelers going out to invite the world in.
If you start looking at one song, the world can open up in many ways.
Now that guitar she's playing, obviously not the missing one. The missing one is still missing. Ross, a friend and a fan of Ellen's, posted on Reddit about the missing Martin guitar. He and Ellen are hoping that if it's out there, someone might see this story somewhere and say they have it. It's that 1956 model. It has Ellen's full name, Ellen Stekert, written inside on one of the cross struts. It also can be identified by a repair made on the back. You can contact them through their contact information. It's with this story on KARE11.com. Gotta believe in miracles for that one. Be right back.